I am also for human genetic enhancement, and um, genetic enhancement is truly a breakthrough for the science world, and this is a breakthrough that could help many families have healthy children, but this breakthrough should not be abused. Human genetic enhancement, or HGE, is the act of temporary or permanently pushing through the current limitations of the human body. And this study could be through natural or artificial ways in science. Many specialists believe that HGE is a scientific breakthrough, but many others believe that it is an ethical disaster, which brings up the philosophical and religion objections of the belief that intervene in such a fundamental biological process as implying God. Go back to that, please. Many scholars predict that technology to modify unborn children is genetically on the horizon, which will allow parents to select their children's traits and enable children to experience a better, more profound life. And this technology will not only increase one's knowledge base, possibly generate a cure for genetic diseases, but it will enable them to increase their child's intelligence and have longer living lives. Pre-implication genetic diagnosis, or PGD, which is the scientific name for embryo screening. Embryo screening is the act of procedures that cure and use on embryo before they're implanted. And this process may also be before fertilization of the male. The process itself allows the parents of the embryo to choose the outcome of which they will become their child, so such as sex. You can choose blue eyes, brown hair. They will also be able to have the choice of being free from any genetic disease or illness. An example of PGD would be the act of one's child having genetic disease that cannot be corrected by the act of using the parent's genetic makeup, but only someone with the perfect genetic matchup. The parents use PGD to give birth to what one would consider as a perfect child, to become a donor for the genetic ill sibling. So just watched. Two ways to pursue PGD. One process is attempting to lessen the symptoms of genetic disease, such as cancer. The second one is attempting gene transfer and enrolling the gene into those tissues that are most affected by disease. PGD is not used every day because the ethical problems that emerge from doing such a thing seems to be against human rights. In saying this, one must adequately appreciate the ethical hazards emerging from the technology, not to leave out that it is a violation of the principle of life. We circle around the idea of the enhancement of human function, most likely because of the easy shortcut it offers. In saying this, technology enhancement of human function is the morally suspect or ignorant to take an easy shortcut. Many people have recently leveled a new attack against genetic enhancement, claiming it is against human rights, and as medical ethics suggests that we should use technology to serve welfare individuals and remove limitations to opportunities available to them. Pros of HGE. The enhancement options would be the extension of human health span and the elimination of unnecessary suffering and disease. This also would help the broadening of human intellectual, physical, and psychological capacities. Transhumanist. Transhumanist is to study and develop technologies to try and eliminate aging to help scientifically enhance capabilities. Transhumanists view nature as a work in progress. Transhumanists also hope that by responsible use of science technology, and other rational means, people shall eventually manage and become post-humans with vastly greater capacities than present human beings. Some transhumanists also take steps to increase the probability that one survived long enough to become post-human as an aging process. An example would be to be able to choose a healthy lifestyle and live many years past your prime. Are we meant to be normal? One can benefit from a genetic enhancement even though it has a risk of benefits. Scientists believe people will evolve if we use HGE as a way of life and use it every day as it enhances the human capabilities. This may affect evolution. There is no certainty that genetic enhanced individuals would carry through any reproductive cycle, meaning the gene modifications may not pass down through generations. And this goes off to how we have genetic enhancement as of today. So performance-enhancing drugs. These were drugs that were originally meant to treat people with genetic-related diseases, but have recently been used in many athletes and all sports around the globe to help these athletes become an upper hand on their opponent. The drugs involved with these actions, frequently known as steroids, growth hormones, erythropoietin, and monoclonal antibiotics, which is to treat infections caused by bacteria. After these diseases were available to people, they became quickly illegal. To control this was the International Olympic Committee. In 1999, the World Anti-Doping Agency, or the WADA, prohibited the use of these drugs on athletes and sports teams. First gene trials. In 1990, the first gene trials began on patients with severe combined immunodeficiency, which is a gene disorder where the immune system in one's body fails to develop properly, also known as SCID for short. In 2000, the first gene therapy success resulted in SCID patients that now live their lives healthy with fully functional immune systems. Since then, gene therapy has restored immune systems in at least 17 children with 2 different forms of severe immunodeficiency. Not only is HG helping with SCID, but it is also used in a small scale to allow fertile women with defects in the mitochondria to give birth to totally functional and healthy children. Healthy human eggs from the second mother are used. The child is produced and will end up having genetic information for 2 mothers and 1 father. The changes that are made in this will likely be passed down from generation, creating a permanent change to the human genome. And my conclusion: when one stops to think about human genome, what seems to be a futuristic human enhancement and scientific discoveries may seem abnormal, right or wrong, and possibly unethical, but one also has to think about the world and how it evolves so rapidly, as it has done so over the past millennia. As the human race continues, the world will continue to change as well. HGE will slowly start showing up more in one's life until it is normal and everyday thing, such as getting a flu shot. This happens because things evolve as people evolve right alongside them.